I woke up 5 floors below where I had fallen asleep, with no memory of moving, and my tools arranged beside me by hands that were not mine. But the worst moment was on the stairwell landing in the dark, when something touched my face. Where my feet had taken me. Part 2 of 4. I woke up on the floor of the corridor outside Unit 1308. It was 3:14 in the morning. I know the time because I checked my phone the second I could move my hands again. I was lying face down on the bare concrete with my cheek pressed against the floor, and my toolbox sitting open beside me, tools laid out in a neat row, as though someone had arranged them while I slept. I had no memory of leave Unit 1313. I had no memory of descending 5 floors. I had no memory of opening the toolbox. My last memory was pressing my back against the wall of Unit 1313 and staring at my name in the concrete. The next memory was this floor, this corridor. I stood up. My knees were wrong, not injured. Wrong the way a joint feels when it has been bearing weight in a position it was not built for longer than a person would willingly hold. I checked my phone, no missed calls. Razif had not tried to reach me. I had been on this floor unconscious and uncontacted for over 6 hours. The corridor was dark except for one emergency light at the far end, half dead, blinking on a slow irregular interval. Each blink lit the corridor for less than a second. The doors to every unit on this floor were shut. Unit 1308 was directly in front of me. Its door was not shut, it was open exactly 2 inches. I had not opened it. I had no key for this unit. I pushed it open. The hinges moved without sound. The inside was identical to 1330 bare concrete, gutted, gray. But on the back wall, covering every centimeter of surface from the floor to a height of roughly 4 feet, something was written in dark brown. It was written in columns, left to right, each word pressed hard enough that the surface of the concrete had been scored. I walked closer. The script was not English. It was not any alphabet I recognized. But it was ordered, structured, the same cluster of marks repeated at intervals, like a name appearing again and again inside a long sentence. I put my hand against the wall. The surface was warm. In a building that had been empty for 4 years, in a concrete room with no heating, the wall was the same temperature as a living person's skin. I pulled my hand back. My palm had left a print in what I had assumed was residue. The print filled in immediately, slowly, like a surface breathing. I left Unit 1308. I went back up to 1313. I do not know why I went back. I think I needed my toolbox. I realized in the corridor that I had not taken it from outside 1308. I turned around. The toolbox was gone. The tools that had been arranged in a neat row were gone. The corridor outside 1308 was empty and the door was shut again. I climbed the stairs. The sweet smell was stronger. Much stronger. It was not coming from the walls. It was coming from above me, from the floor above. I stopped on the landing between 12 and 13. I stood completely still. I turned off my torch. I needed to know if the smell was all I could sense. There were footsteps above me, on floor 13, moving slowly, moving from the direction of Unit 1313 toward the stairwell. The footsteps were not heavy. They were not quite the sound of boots on concrete. They were the sound of something being dragged forward by its feet rather than lifted. A soft scraping rhythm that stopped every 3 steps. They were getting closer to the stairwell door. I pressed myself against the landing wall. I did not turn my torch on. Turning the torch on meant being seen. I stood in total darkness and I listened to that dragging step come closer. And I stopped breathing because breathing makes a sound and I needed the thing on the other side of that door not to know I was there. The footsteps stopped, right at the door. The door handle moved down. Slowly, deliberately. The way you move a handle when you know someone is on the other side and you want them to know you know. I could not look away from the handle. My vision had tunneled completely to that single point of motion in the dark. My legs had locked. My throat had closed. I was aware that I had not taken a breath in over 20 seconds and I still could not make myself take one. The door opened, not slowly, all at once. the full width of the frame swinging hard, slamming the wall beside me with a crack that went through the concrete and into my chest. The corridor beyond was empty. The light from the half-dead emergency bulb on floor 13 blinked once and then went out permanently. But the smell was here now. Right here on the landing. Wet concrete and something sweet underneath that had gone completely, irreversibly wrong. And it was not coming from above me anymore. It was standing directly beside me in the dark. Something touched the side of my face. One finger, tracing from my left temple down to my jaw. The skin of the finger was cold and it moved too slowly, with the exact pressure of something learning the shape of a face it has been waiting a very long time to touch. I turned on my torch. She was there. She had always been there. And what she did next made me understand exactly why Block 13 had been empty for 4 years. That's it for Part 2. Follow Untold Lores for Part 3. Like and subscribe for daily stories.